There we go. Okay. So hello, everybody. This is Jennifer Quick with Soul Clarity Coaching, and I'm here today with Emily White, the Detox Queen. So as most of you who do know me and those of Emily's crowd that know her, both of us are really invested in the health, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually of all of us, right? And so when Emily and I met, we decided we had to get together and talk because we come from both ends of the scale. So at Soul Clarity Coaching, I like to focus on connecting the spiritual with the mental and the emotional and the human experience. And Emily is a specialist with the detoxing, which goes hand in hand with spiritual development. As we open up spiritually and as we open up emotionally, we need to cleanse our body. And I will say the last few years, really, we have had a lot of spiritual upgrades, a lot of opening of our conscious mind, and our bodies are being asked to process a lot more information than they ever have in the past. And many of us are feeling that sensitivity in our body. We're more sensitive to the toxins in our environment. We're more sensitive to our food. And we have a lot of mystery things arising, and we're tired and we don't know why. And all these things are happening. And a lot of it is with the toxins in our environment. I have a whole story of my own history dealing with toxins and environment, allergies and everything else. But I'm not going to go into that because I want to turn it over to Emily and hear about her and her angle of detox. So Emily, take it over.
Hi, everybody. My name is Emily. As she stated, I'm the Detox Queen. I have been on a health journey for over 15 years, ever since my father passed away from cancer. It was 17 years ago. He was only 55 years old, and and he was my best friend. I was only 22 years old, so I felt like I got kind of robbed, like I didn't have enough lifetime, with him. And I did a lot of research then because, just having cancer when you're completely healthy didn't make any sense to me. And so I was like, well, I'm going to do some research, and I did a lot. And I found out that there's a lot of hidden toxins in every single thing: clothing, foods, and products like makeup and shampoo and face wash and everything you can think of, candles, any scented stuff. Everything has toxic chemicals in it. It's incredible. I was so not aware of this back then. And so after I did all the research, I just started okay, I'm going to invest, and we're going to start my family. We're going to start eating healthier. We're going to start being more positive. We're going to spiritually, mentally, and physically, because, your brain and your stomach are like a connection. So if you're stressing out or something, then your gut's going to hurt and you're going to feel sick, and it all correlates. So that's what I didn't want to happen. And then after that, after 4 years after my father passed from cancer, my mother got hurt at work, and she has traumatic brain injury. So she's disabled for life. She's 100% disabled. And I had to quit all my jobs and had to be an instant caregiver for her. Very, very much emotions. I couldn't go back to being healthy, well, as much as we could, but we couldn't afford anything. We lived off of canned food and box food, which is not the healthiest thing. So we just had to kind of do with what we can deal with at that time. And I was going through a lot of emotions. That wasn't my specialty, caregiving. I had a lot of rocky up and downs. I had a lot of anxiety. I actually had to go see a therapist, and I wasn't really into therapy. I wasn't into therapists, but you know what? I was really floored and shocked that it's amazing speaking out to someone that doesn't know you, that will not judge. And it really, really helped me throughout the whole process of taking care of my mother, because I was by myself. None of my family helped me out except my grandparents giving us food, all the time. And we unfortunately lost our house after a year because we weren't paying. My mom couldn't afford it. We weren't paying rent or anything. We owned our house. We weren't paying the mortgage. And so it was crazy. And then when we lost the house, I didn't have anywhere to go. I had a small dog at the time. I couldn't find a place to live. My family members had other dogs that didn't get along with little dogs. I got my mom set up at a place that, you know, had they had an in-living housekeeper that did everything. So she could cook for her, she can clean her laundry, do everything, because my mom wasn't able to do any of that on her own. She had to be supervised. But it was only 300 square feet. So it was perfect for one person. I mean, I wouldn't be able to go over there. Plus, we didn't have a car. Our car was broke. Our car had been broken down for 6 months. We didn't have the money to fix it. But then I found my loving husband. I kept positive, like, okay, things happen for a reason. It's gonna work out, you know. And I just kept praying, and you know, my husband came to me and picked me up, and we've been together for 9 years, and he's just been the best thing that's ever happened to me, getting me off of my feet, putting me back into getting me, you know, off of being in that low position that I was. Like, everybody goes through ups and downs in their life, but I mean, just where I was, it was heaven sent that, you know, I met him, and he just took me in, and he's been taking care of me ever since. So then I started back into my health and wellness once I got back on my feet, and we've been together, you know, forever. And then my baby, my fur baby, I love animals and dogs and any kind of animals, but my fur baby, I had her that whole time we were going through life changes. Well, she ended up getting cancer too. And they're kind of the same way as us as humans, you know, their receptors are the same. They can't necessarily eat all the foods that we can eat, but they can eat a majority of the foods that we can eat. And yeah, they get it too, which is not fair. You know, they're little angels from God, and I just don't think that they deserve to, and they don't live very long, so I don't think that they deserve to get, you know, any of these diseases either. So that's another, I did a lot of research then, you know, and joined a bunch of groups to get information of what I could do for her. And I kept her alive for another 2.5 years with just doing, I did do chemo, and I did do chemo for a little bit because I wanted to make sure, because it was aggressive, and I wanted to, like, put her in remission, which I did. And then it just came back. It was so aggressive, but I did do a lot of holistic therapies after that, medications and everything, because like me, I forgot to mention in the beginning of my story, I was allergic to everything as a child growing up in the 80s, 90s, and there wasn't really a lot of products out there that were non-toxic and good for us, you know? And I broke out in hives all the time. I felt like I was on fire every day and was just crying. And you know, that's not a way I want to live. So it was hard to find shampoo. Every laundry detergent out there I was allergic to, broke out. Any kind of like even the baby products, which really, really sad. Nowadays, we don't have to worry about it because there's a lot of alternatives now, which, thank goodness, finally, the world is aware of. Majority of the world is aware of these. Sorry, I accidentally hit a button. They're more aware of these hidden toxins in our everyday products and foods. So that is my goal. My husband and I, we were born and raised in California. We moved to Texas, and we actually live on a farm, and we're growing organic vegetables, herbs, microgreens. We're going to be getting some fruits, trees, and we're going to get goats and chickens. So we're going to have a full working farm, which I think, you know, is awesome. And this is, all my ancestors used to be farmers too. So this is like the best way to be healthy, to be honest. You know, because when you go to like the grocery store, all the produce and stuff have to be picked early, then shipped on a train, or, you know, a cargo ship, or a semi truck, whatever. And then they're just left into you know, the stores just like that. They could be, and they're sprayed with pesticides too. Everything's sprayed with pesticides. So, and that's how they keep the bugs, you know, off of the whole crop, and it's huge. You know?
Sorry, can I just ask, just so there's a number of notes, I got a bunch of questions for you, but
sure.
One of the things you just mentioned now, and this has been so much on the forefront for me. So I'm in Vancouver, BC, so on the West Coast, and we had a port strike here during August, I think it was. And so all the shipments coming into the big containers were stacked up at our port, and nothing was moving. Well, they're full of a lot of produce. And right. when the strike was finally over and that produce started getting out into the stores, I noticed that I was buying like green lettuce, but it tasted like rot. And I've been going, what are they painting our food now? Are they, why is it looking green and tasting like rot? And I noticed this in restaurants when I'd order in food as well. A
Yep.
lot, it would look okay, but it tasted like rot. And we went through probably well, I couldn't tell you for sure how long because I quit eating out and I buy all organic. So I kind of started
Good.
moving, and it's farm season. So I've got all my farm stuff coming in.
Yeah.
um, so I don't really know if it's still that way, but it was for quite a few weeks where things just tasted
That's terrible.
and looked and that. So are they painting our food? What is that?
I think they're dyeing them, putting dye. So yes, paint, dye.
They dye
And you
our
know
meat. I know that.
and the meat they do. They inject bleach in it. They inject bleach in our meat to make it look. So this is the craziest
Food
thing.
coloring.
So if you were to actually butcher meat and put it right after you butcher it into the stores and look at it, no one would buy it because it's not appealing to our eyes. It's not appealing to us.
I actually
So
grew up like that. I
Yeah,
grew up on a little hobby farm and we raised our own cattle when I was young. And actually I lived
the
there
best way.
now and we still have cattle. But so I've grown up on the farm in front. And when I was young, we had our own cattle. We used to raise our own meat and share it with our family. And so, and I remember though, a child memory, it seems to me we did it many times, but my parents probably will tell you we did it once or twice. I don't know. Remember having the big table set up in the basement and we butchered our cows at home. And you were allowed to back then. We're not allowed to anymore.
Right.
Right. But we couldn't.
Mhm.
I remember that whole process. And I grew up on that. And my dad was a hunter. So I grew up on that hunting meat and everything, fresh game and stuff like that. And then I remember when I got into my teen years and my mom was working a lot and my dad was working a lot and he wasn't hunting as much. And things changed around here and we didn't have cattle for a few years. And so we started buying meat in the grocery stores. I got really, really sick.
Yep.
Got really,
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
and then when
They
I,
have a lot of hormones in it too, like hidden hormones. You have to like buy top shelf meat there, but
yeah,
still it's kind of scary. Like you don't know where it's really coming from. We
no,
get ours, like I would rather get ours from a small farm that does it on their own, which we do have one in Texas here. It's a little bit more expensive, but totally worth it. But if you were to go to the store, we go to like Sam's Club or Costco has the best, like when it comes to meat, I would say. If an alternative, if you don't have like a small farm that you can, a small business that raises cows that you can get it from. But
this is an interesting change in the system too, is there's not a lot of butchers that we can process our meats through because we went back to raising
Right.
cows, grass-fed cattle.
Yeah.
But we still have to send them to the slaughterhouses. And those slaughterhouses put these animals, there's so much trauma involved from when they leave the
I
farm
can't even.
through that whole process. It is just like you can taste it in the meat and you're ingesting that
Right.
of stress hormone and terror that these animals are going through as they go through the slaughterhouses. You're ingesting that in your body. That's what you're buying in the
It makes me want to cry. It makes me want to go to be a vegetarian, to be honest.
I've been vegan, I've been
I do like meat. I do like meat. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, I can go months without eating it. No big deal. I can eat fish and like I mean, that's kind of meat too. But like when I don't know, like I could go without a burger. I mean, I like burgers, but
my household. So I've got grown teenagers and a husband, and my parents live across from us here. And my household ranges from like meat are us to vegan.
nice.
We're very challenging a lot because but plant-based with a side of meat is kind of how I now. And that kind of, so it's, if you feel your body needs it, give it to your body, but buy the best quality you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and as close to your connection. You need to, if you knew the animal, if you know the soil the animal grew in, that your vegetables grow in, soil has a story. It holds the memories.
Oh yeah.
When I do my travels, and I'm actually doing a travel trip coming up, I'm doing a soul journey down in Sedona for myself and my husband, and I'm going to be recording a lot of that. So if anybody's
How exciting!
it's really exciting. I've got amazing things lined up. But one of the things, and I just did this yesterday, a girlfriend and I went out and played in Fort Langley, which is a cute little area here in the valley. And we went and sat under the Queen's coronation tree out at one of the heritage sites. And we sat there and we just put our fingers into the soil.
Oh, yeah.
We felt into the soil and just listened. And the soil told us so much history of what that land had experienced.
How amazing.
And so afterwards, we're talking and we're correlating our stories together. And so when you travel and everywhere you go,
fun.
the soil has memories in it, and you're
absolutely
coming out of those memories. So if you're raising food in toxicity, you are eating toxicity.
Yep.
Right. So it's
it's mental clarity too, like mentally, so you got to make sure you're positive too. I mean,
it's the vibration you're pulling into your body. And so the toxins, so yeah, it's in our food system. So we kind of covered our food system. Now, going into some of the other stuff, like the products and the lifestyle and everything. And now you grew up in the 80s and 90s. I'm a 70s, 80s, 90s, kid, born in the early 70s. So it was a little different for me. In the mid to late 80s, I don't know if you've studied the history of this, but the mid to late 80s, our entire system of approval for what chemicals and toxins and food labels and stuff like that started to really change. There's a evolution that went on then. It's also born out of that into the 90s was the farm to table movement was born into that. And I remember being part of that in Vancouver back in the day. And so this farm to table, it's really resurfaced and grown now.
Yes.
Very, very important. But the part that hasn't really caught up as much, I find, is the chemicals that we are bringing into our homes.
Yes.
That is such a huge source of cancer. Source of mental disorders and sensitivities and stuff like that. And I know, like from the late 80s on up, I've always used environmental products in my home. And for anybody out there who says it's too expensive, because it is more expensive, I'll tell you, vinegar and baking soda can pretty much clean anything. And
that's what I was going to tell you. Those are my staple pieces. It's vinegar, white distilled vinegar, baking soda, lemon juice, Castile soap, and a really good company that sells essential oils, because you can put a vinegar with essential oils to make it a softener for your laundry. And I mean, it does everything. It's amazing. And I have a huge bag of baking soda because I put that in the laundry. You scrub that in your bathrooms because that's like acting like bleach, but it's chemical free. You use it to eat. I mean, it's good to ingest, we don't get sick from it. Toothpaste, baking soda is crazy. It's amazing stuff. I mean, that's like number one. And then I also have other companies that I use. They're multi-surface cleaners. They're all plant derived, eco-friendly. And we live on a farm, so we can't put anything down our drains because we have septic. So we really have to think about what we're putting in our drain, and so which is really good. It's better to do that and live old school like that, because then you're thinking, oh shoot, we need to get this, so it's actually better for you to do that.
It was. And I remember actually when my babies were little, I did cloth diapers because diapers are such a huge environmental issue.
Right.
Oh, I actually did cloth diapers.
My mom did that too because I was allergic to everything.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I had to do them. I think it was about 10 to 11 months out of the year. There was always at least 1 or 2 months of the year that our well was extremely dry and we couldn't do laundry to you need to when you're doing cloth diapers. But what I was saying with the septic field, I actually used to order a product out of the United Kingdom. So it came from England, but it was septic safe liners. So it made cloth diapers a night and day difference because you could just take that liner and flush it. Right.
Oh, that's the best. Europe is so far advanced from
yeah. And that's a lifesaver.
I always refer to them whenever it comes to anything like health wise, because they have the best stuff ever. Like our company that I'm affiliated with for my health and wellness, we're in Europe. So that's when it's a good company. What?
Perfect segment. Tell me about the company that you are doing and what do you what products are they offering, and give me the lowdown on
I'm
that.
affiliated with a health and wellness company named Modere. I used to be with Melaleuca for about 5 years, and I started with Melaleuca because I love their cleaning supplies. It was concentrated. You only needed a little bit. Everything else was with water. So I'm using that. I have so much product from them that I have probably 2 years worth of cleaning stuff with them. So I was like, okay, I'm done. So I ended up changing to a different company for other reasons. I'm not going to go into that right now, but I found this amazing company named Modere. They've been around for a while. They changed their name, and we have a new CEO. It's a woman. They used to be called Jasuru. So I don't know if
Okay. Yes, I'm familiar with them. Yeah.
So we have every single product that you can think of. Laundry detergent. We actually have a women's hormone. It's non-hormonal, but it's for postmenopause, perimenopause, and then we also have a non-hormonal hormonal period one. So you could take, when you're, it's so cool.
Can I interject again on that one?
Yes,
Because
yes.
people don't realize how important this is. Feminine products are so toxic, and that toxin is what causes PMS and crampings and grumpy and what I call the I hate my husband week. It causes all that, and it causes this stress it's one of the major parts of menopause. So you have a toxicity from your environment with menopause, but I will tell you the spiritual other half of menopause, it'll be more difficult for you for all the things of the feminine that you have rejected and suppressed. The more you've held your tongue and suppressed your feminine, the worse your menopausal symptoms will be. Heal your feminine. And menopause actually does not need to be a horrible time in life. It can be a very freeing time in life because there's a psychology behind it that actually just, wow, it can really wake women up.
And there's foods you can eat to help with cramping. I can't take any medications. I'm literally really sensitive and allergic to mainly all of the medications that are out there, which is great. I'm happy for that because I don't want to take anything anyway. So I'm so excited about these new products. We have hair care, skin care. We have the #1 collagen in the world with 37 clinical trials and eight international patents. So it's like nobody can touch ours, and it's like the best. We have weight loss stuff. We just have we have this new 5-day drop. It's amazing. It only takes 4 of our products, and we give you everything else. Like literally, we give you, okay, this is what you need to do this day. You're going to take this product at night, this time. What you're going to eat, we give you actually the recipe. You can go pick up the food, at your local grocery store or wherever you shop, and you do it for 5 days, and literally you lose 5 or more pounds in 5 days, and you can keep doing it over and over again. So that helps out with everything. We also have
test with that. I will give you a testimony with that.
Awesome.
My mother was a part of Janus back when it was that, which is now a different company name. And she had to go in for a hysterectomy. And so before she went in for her hysterectomy, she wanted to get her health aligned and lose some weight. And she did that program, which I'm sure has been updated. But it was fantastic. It was easy to follow. It was so simple and straightforward. And it wasn't something that consumed her so she couldn't live her life, and it worked.
No, not at all. She must have done the lean body system.
If you're looking for that, it is one I would recommend.
Right. She probably did the lean body system. I'm pretty sure.
Tell you what it was called.
I think, that's the one that we've been going on for a long time. The 5-day drops is something very new that we just did, but it's still the same. It has the same products, probably, some of the same products in there, but it's amazing. It's definitely amazing for that. And it's all natural, and it's really easy to incorporate into your, I have a busy schedule. We all have busy schedules, get it. But that's what I incorporate into my morning routine. I do this, I drink the shakes. We have, I'm allergic to whey products, but we do have some whey, and then we do have a plant-based one.
Good. That's good to know. Plant-based. Anybody that's paying attention to this, getting away from the whey and going plant-based is a huge issue, and it's hard.
We're upgrading, definitely. Oh. Yeah, I can't do any whey. I'm allergic to it. I'm lactose intolerant.
Most people are.
I'm lactose intolerant. I can't have caffeine. These are all triggers of when I get anxiety. So I know what I can't have and what my stomach says, no, you can't have this, Also, we have over 200 products. There's so many. We have like noni juice, aloe vera juice, vitamins. We have everything that you use daily. Shampoo, skincare. We have laundry detergent. We have like a multi-surface cleaner that's plant derived. We have laundry. We have, dishwasher like detergent, and it's liquid, dishwasher liquid, and a dishwasher hand soap.
That's
And other
another
hand
one.
soaps.
Detergent.
Everything. I mean,
People do not realize detergent leaves a film on your clothing that is getting into your skin. Your skin is the biggest organ for absorbing toxins.
yeah, it takes
In our
26 seconds to
laundry,
get
what
to
you
your
put in that
bloodstream.
machine is a huge issue.
It
So
takes 26 seconds to get your bloodstream from whatever you put on your skin. It's that quick. I mean,
26
my
seconds.
website has a lot of information. My
Wow.
website is Go Green with Emily. It's EMILIE.com. And it has a lot of information on there talking about how quick it goes to your bloodstream, you know, the top 3 deadly diseases and how that resides with the toxins that you take in. It builds up over time. That's exactly why my dad passed from cancer so early in stages, because it's the toxic buildup over his
It
lifespan.
doesn't leave your body.
It doesn't, and it's not too late to detox your body. It does take some time. Don't get me wrong, but it's never too late. You can detox it and then increase your lifespan.
Now, so the next factor here I wanted to jump into, because I know you're so passionate about what you talk about. We can go down this rabbit hole endlessly, right?
Yes, we can.
It's a huge topic, but I want to keep moving. And one of the things I wanted to bring up, which is slipping out of my brain at the moment, oh my gosh, okay, it was around cancer. It was that last point that you just said. Sorry.
Oh, toxic buildup.
The toxic buildup and the detoxing. Okay.
Yes.
So we've got the side where your diet, we talked about your diet, so important what you're eating. It's not as big a deal as whether you're eating plant, vegan, or vegetarian or meat. It's more important where you're sourcing it from. What is the vibration of your food? What are the original nutrients? What's the story it's growing out of? Okay.
Do your research, people. It's very, very important to do your research.
Exactly. Then the next thing we talked about was the products that we're using in our house, whether it's for personal care or whether it's laundry, whatever. Like, so we talked about that. And again, your company has some excellent products.
Right.
Now I want to move into this whole detoxing the body, because I've done a lot of detoxes in my life. I was some of the older crowd might remember Herbalife.
Oh my yes. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I almost dipped my toes in there.
Yeah, I was a distributor for both of those companies way back then, and they were beautiful companies, and they really transformed my whole life a lot back then. So there's lots of those kind of products out there. Then I've done the juice fast, and I've done everything from the lemon and maple syrup diet I think I've done 20 days, I think was the most. If you go on my YouTube channel, I actually I did a video series on my juice fast a while back. So
wow.
I did the green juice fast. I've never done the celery one because
I did the celery one for a couple months. It was amazing. I hate celery. I don't even like it. I had to like gag and take it down, and I did it just for me because I wanted to show. And a lot of different, like my skin, you can just feel the difference. I mean, your body feels amazing. It's crazy. I'm almost about to do it again because I want to feel that experience.
The green machine, the green power one did it for me. Was it spinach and kale and apple and
spirulina,
all that kind of stuff, right? But the celery one, I'll tell you, I did not. So my son had a lot of sensitivities from birth on up, right? He's had a lot of health issues and sensitivities growing up. And I did the whole allergy-free diets on him. I tried everything. Everything's out of my house, detox, the whole bit. Could not get my handle around what was going on with this kid. And then as an adult, a friend of his was doing the celery juice and handed him a glass of celery. He drank it and he went into anaphylactic shock. So we almost lost him because he went into the full reaction.
Oh my gosh, that's scary.
Simply a couple sips of the celery juice.
Wow.
So that is like, I never in my life would have thought celery was the underlying cause of a lot of his problems. Because once you have one major sensitivity like that is slipping through the system. So I used to put celery in everything, right? It was onion, celery, and away you go. And so I never would have thought of cutting celery out. And it was always a constant little bit in his diet. So it wasn't enough to send him into the anaphylactic
Shock,
shock
right.
response for me to see it. It was a low key response. But because the body was so sensitive to it, there was a constant irritation, which then your allergies build and build, and you're becoming more and more and more sensitive and more ill. And then you eliminate one or two things, eliminate dairy, eliminate wheat, whatever.
Right.
You feel a little bit better, but you're not getting to the root because there's that missing one that is really inflamed the whole body. And it can be crazy. It can be a product in your environment. It can be a food that you're eating. It can also be the lights. The lights in schools are often really, really bad and cause a lot of migraine problem, a lot of neurological problems.
I had a lot of migraines in college and actually in high school, and it was absolutely from the lighting.
And I was both like, my kids, and the cleaning products used in school. My daughter, I couldn't figure out why my daughter would get sick all the time. Every time I put her into school, she gets Clorox. I guarantee Clorox. That's exactly what it was. It was Clorox. Yep. It was exactly, it was in Clorox to clean the top of the desk. And it was funny.
Shoot, I used to do that all the time. I mean, we used to use them.
Yeah, they were buying it in such big bulk things. They didn't even realize they were using Clorox. So when I asked them, like, what are you using in that? They are like, oh, just bleach, just bleach. No, it wasn't bleach. It was Clorox. And
even bleach is bad. You can't use bleach either. But it means, but yeah, we were growing up with that. So we have toxic buildup right now, all of us. You know, when you're actually birthed, like actually in the womb, not even birthed yet, in your mother's womb, unless your mother was like a hippie and lived on a farm and didn't in whatever, you know, didn't put anything on her skin or use any toxicity, then you already have toxic chemicals already in your mother's womb.
There's actually toxins that come down in our rain. And so it didn't matter how, even the hippie in the hippie colony eating the purest foods grown there, meditated on, there is still an element of toxicity that's simply coming down in our rain. So it is something that we need to do in our bodies, no matter how cleanly you run your body and your environment is still important to do. Now, tell me about, what's the name of the company again?
Modere.
Modere or Modere?
Modere. M-O-D-R-E. Yeah.
M-O-D-A-R-E. Awesome. Okay. So tell me what their detox, because I have not done it. So I would like
I love it. I freaking love it. I cannot live without it. And I got my husband hooked, and he's very specific too. Like, so everybody's bodies are different, obviously. And we've tried everything. We've tried everything under the sun. I drink hot teas at night too. You know, the hot tea detox are good. They don't get to the source though. Like, I mean, they help, but they're not like what Modere has. So it is all plant derived. It is a 3-day detox. Oh my gosh. It tastes so good. It tastes like a lemon. It tastes like lemon. So it's a powder form, and it's in a little thing like this, a little packet. So everything pretty much is like, you could just take it on the run or on the go, or if you're at work or whatever, or on vacation. And you just put it in an 8-ounce glass of water, and you have to drink it within 20 minutes, only because it starts getting that, with all the ingredients in it, they're all natural. It starts getting like clumpy, or not clumpy, but like it gets into a big ball for some reason. But it doesn't do that in your body.
Anybody listening to this, that is not uncommon. Often when you have a product that has been either in powder form or it's something that you're putting together, the moment it comes together, it starts to activate, and the highest potency of its nutrition for you is in that moment. So the sooner you drink it, the better. So
absolutely. Thank you for thank you for clarifying that for everybody. That's absolutely correct. It's super good. And so my husband has I've had gut issues my entire life, and finally, let me say finally, I work towards it. We have a probiotic, a prebiotic, and a postbiotic. It's called Trebiotic. That I live off of that. I literally I can tell when I do not take it when I do not take it, sometimes I can tell the difference. It is amazing. It's the best.
Take a minute now and talk about the pro, and all that biotics, because it is so
important.
It's so important, and yet it's so overly talked about it and under delivered.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have
You want to say that. So tell me about
we
it.
have the 3, and then we just have the probiotic. So I have them both. I love them. The probiotic, the one probiotic, it's in another small packet, and it literally tastes like green apple. You know those pixie sticks that we used to eat all the time? Literally tastes like that. You don't need water. It dissolves in your mouth, and you're done. Like
Which is not good. Pixie sticks are not good. Okay, so if you ever
pixie sticks are not good, but this
either,
pixie stick is.
you need to do
And then the 3 of them, the post, pro, and pre, they're like little teeny microbeads, and it actually fixes your microbiome, which is something it's too scientific to go into today, but I have tons of information on that. If you want to know the science behind it, I can send you guys videos or whatever. We have all the scientific evidence because we're science backed. And it literally changed my life. Like post, pre, and it's little beads. So what you do is you just put them in your mouth, and then I just swallow it. You don't want to bite. I mean, sometimes I crunch them, but you don't want to like crunch it. It's not something to chew, but you just kind of swallow it with water. What I do is I actually use one of the products in the weight loss. It's called Trim, which is known for ever.
Yeah,
and that's a pudding. That's a weight loss pudding that's delicious, and we have like 7 flavors. So I have salted caramel, which came out for our fall, or not fall, our summer one. I want to see what our fall one's going to be, or this time, but coming around, and chocolate.
Okay, so I put together for me a little bit. Put this together for me a little bit. You've got a detox program. You've got the pre and probiotic program, and then you have now this weight loss.
Yes, we have a weight loss. Yeah, we have a weight loss program.
Mm-hmm. So there's 3 things there. All 3 are highly important. Now, right. But again, you start getting into cost. This is expensive to do all 3. I mean, our health and blah, blah, blah. So tell me kind of how they all relate for somebody.
Well, see, I get that a lot with the cost thing. What I go for is, yes, it might cost a little bit more, but you have to break it down. Instead of going to buy like, a $5 toothpaste from Walmart, ours is $7, $2 more or whatever, of having a better thing for you. So you have to take it day by day. Our coffee that we have has collagen in it. It's actually really good for you. It has brain boosters in it. And they're neurotropics, which are like amazing to have in your brain. Anyways.
Similar to bullet coffee?
I'm not sure. I think so.
Well, bullet coffee is MCT based, which is that it's a portion branched off from coconut oil, but I think yours is actually based on something different. So
I don't take it because I can't have caffeine. Even if it's naturally caffeine, that's another thing about me, is I'm kind of sensitive to some plant stuff. So you kind of have to be careful and test it out. Like I can't have too many B vitamins. It gives me anxiety. There's some other stuff that I can't have a lot of that are plant-based too. I can't think of them right now, but majority of the time, it's really good for you. But the coffee, it comes in small packets too, and it's an instant one. You just put it in hot water and you drink it. I have so many people hooked on that because it makes them alert. They're doing something good for their body, their skin, too, and it gives them alertness like throughout the whole day. And there's no crash because it's derived from green tea extracts. So you're not going to get the jitters or anything. Unfortunately I can't have it, so I can't tell you how I experience it, but from my customers, they just love it. So there again, instead of going to Starbucks and spending $100 a month for $7, I mean, it's going up. It's crazy. Ours is like $1.66 a day. Why not do that? Same with energy drinks. That's another one that's like really extremely bad for you. We have the best one.
Oh, teenagers are hooked on this stuff, and it's so bad for their
system. It's really bad. I'm getting everybody hooked on ours.
It's really linked to their nervous system and their digestive
Yes.
system, which are all tying together. And you wonder why they're so full of anxiety and attention deficit and things like this. Take a look and see what they're, because if it's affecting them on that neurological digestive issue, it's very much related to the
I have a video actually on my social media on Instagram,
beautiful.
Facebook, about a recent study that happened with somebody with a 30-year-old actually that's been drinking like energy drinks his whole life. He had a heart attack. And I just go through the whole like what it does. There's so much terrible stuff about energy drinks.
It's
unreal.
really bad.
Unreal. We have obviously a really good one. All natural ingredients, doesn't give you the jitters for that. I literally shift people over to this one. Same neurotropic boost your brain. Does not give you that crash like everybody else's. It's all day, kind of like a nice all day alertness and energy. Like my clients go nuts about those two things. If you need any kind of like coffee or energy drinks, say like you're still hooked on it, be hooked on these ones. They're better for you. And maybe it costs a little bit more, maybe $1, maybe 50 cents, but in the long run, it's going to save you because you're going to be having that heart attack. You're going to be going to the doctors. You might get cancer like my dad did. Are you guys going to be able to afford that? I know I can't. So I would rather pay a little bit more and get healthier food and save my life.
Let me just put a let me put a little pin in here from the Canadian side, because you're American down in Texas. So now on the Canadian, we go, well, we got free medical. Check out our local medical system, because that free medical is really getting hard to access. So it's better off for our system and for you individually and for your family. Be healthy first. Be healthy first, and don't
mind, body, and soul,
because it ain't reliable like it used to be.
Everything's connected. Mind, body, soul. Everything is connected. So if you're going to have a headache or be upset or stressed that day, your stomach's going to hurt. You're going to feel like you're going to throw up, and you're going to feel like crap. Like, I'm just going to be honest. You're going to feel like crap that day. You're not going to feel good.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's all correlated. So you need to, start slow. You don't have to go fast. I'm actually launching a coaching program soon, my detox covered clean out detoxing. And I will actually physically, well, not physically, but on one-on-one with me on video on Zoom. And I will literally walk you through the cupboards in your house. And I'll go through them. You're going to pull out your stuff. It's going to be a 90-day program because, you're throwing away all this money that you obviously spent on all these toxic products. So we're going to do it more on a slow balance. So, so you don't get stressed and you're not like overwhelmed or anything like that. But I'm going to start out like in the bathroom. We'll start out with your your skincare, and we'll start out with your laundry, and your shampoo, and then we'll go to your laundry detergent. We'll do like just, different houses, and it's going to be an awesome program. I can't wait to help you guys out and just really let you know like what these chemicals can do and why you need to get rid of them. And it's really important. It's really important.
Big job to do. It's a big job sometimes when you're
and nobody wants to do it. I mean, no. I get it. But you guys really need to. I mean, it's a real important thing for your health, and health should be number one. It should be your top priority.
It should be. And learning how to read labels are really, really important. That's one of the things so as a parent, there's so many things that you look back and go, I really screwed that up. I'm sorry, kid, but I screwed that up, right? Like, you can't help it as a kid. But I'll tell you, one of the best things I did for my kids, I taught them both my kids know how to cook for themselves, do their own laundry, and read a label. They go through that store and they know exactly what they're buying and what they're putting in their body, and they know how to find out what they don't know.
And be careful with the labels too. They have hidden words that people don't realize. That's how they get the toxins in there.
And they change them.
Very good, important. What?
They change them all the time too. So there's a thing going on with our food system. I'm not sure how prevalent this is in the US, but I know it is happening in Canada. Products are changing their ingredients. So I think they call it shrinkation or whatever. It's about the economy downsizing, right? Shrinkification or whatever it is. And so what they're doing is, yes, they're giving you a smaller product in order to keep the price down, but they're also changing out ingredients. So food that I used to buy and products I used to buy that I knew were good, I still have to read the labels almost every time I buy them, because they'll switch the labels on it. And all of a sudden now you've got some dyes are big.
Oh, terrible. Oh my God, they're so bad.
The preservatives, and they can make them sound really healthy. Natural flavoring.
Natural flavors. They're not. They're nothing not. You want.
No. And there are, but now there's the thing is sometimes there are natural flavors that are actually toxins.
Right.
But they're considered good. And I can't think of one on the
fragrance.
But which
fragrance.
One? Fragrance. There's another one, fragrance. That's right. Yeah. If basically, if the product was really actually good for you, they shouldn't be afraid to say what it is.
Exactly. Yep.
If you can't read it, if you don't understand how to pronounce the word and you can't understand the word,
that's what I say. Don't buy it. If you don't know what the word is and you can't pronounce it, don't buy it. It's a chemical for sure.
Right. When you buy a carrot, it's called a carrot.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
I know. Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's getting starting point.
I'm going to turn on my light really quick because it's getting dark here. We're going to have a storm and I feel like I'm dark. Like you can't see me very well.
Okay.
There we go. See?
There you go. Now you're all lightened up and glowing again.
Okay. There we go.
That's your background.
I wish I was actually here in my background. It'd be nice to have a nice vacation.
I am so looking forward. So I'm leaving a week and a bit from now, and heading off to Sedona. And I'm going to do a trip and lead others in the new year. So probably I'm setting it up for like end of March, beginning of April, maybe someone there. And I'll do a journey down in Sedona with the vortexes. But this one is for myself and my husband, and I am so looking forward to it. The alignments that are happening are phenomenal. We're actually staying at a cabin in the forest, which I didn't even know Sedona had a forest.
Oh my gosh, how beautiful. That sounds amazing. Like it just sounds so
ancient
serene.
Land. Yeah, and I'm getting in touch with people and I'm like, I'm not a tourist. I'm off the beaten track. You don't need to teach me things. You just need to show me where to go and hold space. Right. So yeah, so I'm going to be recording a lot of it. I'm going to.
You better stick your fingers in that dirt there.
Oh, you betcha. Here's what stories are. I've already been tuning into a lot of it and discovering a lot of the history that's down there. It's pretty phenomenal. And working with vortexes. I'm going to be releasing a video soon all about vortexes because there's a lot of confusion as to what those are.
I hope you come down here sometime, and we have a lot of history in Texas. So it would be awesome to hear what your, once you stick your fingers in the soil here and see what you come up with. I mean,
there's a lot of misconceptions about Texas as well.
Yes, there is.
PR for Texas is kind of not the greatest some days. It's a lot more beautiful, a lot more there's a lot more cleansing energy down there than people realize.
Right. There is.
Yeah. It's actually an incredibly beautiful state.
It really is. Yeah. Even though we don't have any like mountains we have hills and stuff like that. Depends on like where you go. I'm happy to be by water because I needed to be by water. That was my thing. It makes me happy. If I have a stressful day or anything, I just go there and I just like stare there. I just look at the water. I could sit
Water's
there.
Very cleansing.
It
and
is.
Water is another form, just to back onto our detox here, water is another form that we need to be aware of in the way of detoxing because water has a lot of toxins in it. Fluoride in your water. Fluoride is a neurological chemical that actually damages your nervous system. It was originally introduced during World War II for that purpose.
And it's in your toothpaste too. It's terrible.
Toothpaste, mouthwash, all that stuff. It's in there and it's not good. Get away from it. It is so bad.
We have the whole house filter and we just got another filtered water system put in. We don't have the reverse osmosis, but it's just like it. It's just a little bit cheaper because it's expensive for that. But it's amazing. We have a water meter to make sure it's at 0. So yeah, it's just and you know what? Let me go back to that because when we moved from California to Texas, My husband and I were sick for like 2 months. We couldn't figure out why.
Water.
Guess what it was?
Water.
The water. Because the bacteria here is different. It has
is different
bacteria than California.
And California has a different amount of bacteria in their water. I know my kids and I went and spent a week down in California and came back with parasites from California.
Yep.
And nobody could diagnose what was going on with us. So
isn't that strange? So weird. Yeah, we figured it out. We're like, oh my gosh, we need to get, I mean, even though we had the whole house filter and we had filtered water from our fridge, but we wanted to do it more extensive filter. And we were like, wow. And even bottled water here, it's hard to, like, it's not the same. It really isn't. It's better, don't get me wrong, but it's not the best. I mean, you really need that.
It acclimatizes to the water that you're in, right? We have a well water, and then we have house filter.
I would love to have a well. I really would. But
it's interesting. There is a place in California, and I haven't been there. I'm only aware of it because of the what is it, Down to Earth with Zac Efron and Darren I'm terrible. I forgot his name now, Osford or something like that. And it's on Netflix. Fantastic program. I love it. But they did an episode down in California where they went to a water bar and they tested all these different waters from different areas, and they talked about
how cool that would be.
Fascinating. And
so cool.
Of course, so I went out and I started buying all these different types of water to try it. What's the difference between Whistler water, Icelandic water, and spring water and something? So we did, just like you do a wine tasting, we did a water tasting.
I did that too, actually. I didn't do all of it, but I only did like 3 because I wanted to taste the difference of them. Yeah, I have.
And I will say hands down, and this is so funny because I go into a grocery store instead of my kids, and we'll go into a store and we'll see if we find Icelandic water. That is like that. We are like, oh my gosh, there's Icelandic water. We got to get that. Right? It's like buying the best pop on the planet.
That's awesome.
Icelandic water. It's incredible stuff, and how it makes you feel and everything. And that's part of developing when you get healthy, you develop sensitivity.
Oh, big time.
Really appreciate
I'm extremely sensitive. I figured out a lot of sensitivities that I have, and I'm glad now I know. So like my gut, I know what's going to ruin my gut if I eat that cheese, cheeseburger, or if I, and I like cheese. I like cheese, but I'm going to, have less of it. And if I have ranch dressing, well, there you go. Now I know. It's really good to learn about your body. You really need to know. And a blood test is really good too. I had a blood test done, and I also had a prick test to see what I was allergic to. What's weird? Another weird thing that I found out that I just recently was allergic to, oats. And I used to drink oat milk and used to put that in my cereal. I couldn't believe it.
And oats are in so much stuff because we eliminate them for us as well.
I can't have oats. And a majority of like people on TikTok or natural people like me, like, they hand make their stuff DIYs, and then they make their food and stuff. A lot of it comes with oats, and I have to ask them, what's your replacement for oats? Because I can't have it.
I'll tell you one that's really, really good.
Quinoa?
Quinoa flakes.
Flakes. Oh my gosh, I've never seen that. Okay, I'll have to try it.
You can make your own granola, you can make your own porridge, you can do like cookies and everything, but you use quinoa flakes.
Flakes. Awesome.
Just like oatmeal. It's fantastic.
Really? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the cloaks, like the oatmeal clusters, like you put, that used to have like nuts and stuff in it. But yeah, can't have that anymore.
And treat yourself to cacao if you can.
Oh, what?
Cacao. Cacao is an amazing product as well.
Oh, okay.
Cacao is a spirit plant medicine of the feminine energy, which is one. I have a theory. I have no proof in this. It's just as my theory from having gone through my experiences with it. But I have a severe chocolate addiction. I always have. Most women do.
I do. Yep.
Cacao is very much a feminine spirit plant medicine. And I believe it's actually cacao that we're craving. And ceremonial cacao.
Oh, you're gonna have to send me information on that where I can get it.
It's on our website. You'll find it on my website. I do cacao ceremonies and stuff. And if anybody gets a chance to participate in a cacao ceremony, this stuff is amazing what it can do for you. And it is not a hallucinogen, but wow, does it ever open you up? You want to open up your body to spirit and start channeling more information in? Cacao will get you there.
Cool. I definitely do. I mean, I miss my dad, and I felt him, in the beginning, when he first, left. He was doing some funny stuff at the house. I knew it was him. And, I can feel him and sense him. And I saw an apparatus of him. I don't know if people are open to that, but I'm always open to, different things like that. And it's just, I have not felt him or seen him, ever since we moved. I know he probably followed us. I don't know if he stayed, there or it's hard.
There is no distance. And so just if 1 second here, and I'll just, what's your dad? Okay, so Emily, wait, I'll go through you because I don't want to do that publicly, but I'm just going to go through you. And I'm just checking whether he's earthbound or if he's crossed over. And yes, he's crossed over.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. So he has crossed over, which is beautiful. That's what you want. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
If somebody passes, they'll stick around for a while, but eventually you want them to cross over. But that doesn't mean that you can't still contact them. Okay. So through your meditation practice, and if you want help with this, reach out. I'll help you through this. But you can actually contact him and have him come and visit you and give you advice and have conversations with you. And it is absolutely, I have been channeling.
Love that. Oh my God. I'm getting chills. I'm getting goosebumps right now because I would just love that. I mean, I literally just want to hug him. I would be bawling. I mean, I don't know. I know he's fine. Like, I just know, like, because sometimes he comes into my dreams and stuff. But, and what's crazy is my nephews were 2 and 3, and I guess my dad showed up and talked to them at night because they both told us the next day that Papa visited me and told me this, and yes. And I was like, oh my God, because kids are open to everything. So I was like, oh, you're so lucky. Like, I want to be like a kid again so I can see him, so I can feel.
No, you don't have to be a kid again. You just
I know.
And it's not a lot. It doesn't take a lot to tweak you. Like, you've got it there naturally.
I don't know why did it go away from the, do you understand? Like, would you know why
it went away? There's a whole process that goes through, and it has to do, like, the journey you've gone on. If you think of yourself as this beautiful diamond, like, your soul has come down to this earth for a reason, and you're on a purpose. And when you first come into this world, that amazing, beautiful diamond gets buffed around, right? And that's the hard knocks of life. That's the stuff we go through in life that polishes the diamond of who we are. And then that's why as we go up, there's often a lot of difficulties we come to, and then we heal what we've gone through. And then once we heal, we step in and learn how to step into our purpose. Our diamond just glows so bright, and that's what the process is. So it's just a matter. And with you've done so much clearing, so much healing, particularly in the physical. Right. It won't take much to do a couple little tweaking alignments to get you. And it's really about understanding and making yourself comfortable enough to be open and do so in a safe way.
Oh, I am. I've always been really comfortable. Right.
I like to teach people how to do it very safely and in a way that they can continue growing with it at their own pace.
Right.
To have the fear.
Awesome. Right. Oh gosh, I can't wait. It's gonna be so exciting.
That's why they nicknamed me the healer to the healer, is because I have the way I've gone about it. I got very, very shut down when I was young. And so I grew up, I was very spiritually awake when I was very little. And I grew up walking both sides. The veil was very thin for myself. But I grew up very close to my grandmother who had mental illness. And basically later on, when I did Akashic readings, I learned that she had 12 different personalities that were moving through her, 12 entities at a time that were moving through her on a regular basis. When you talk to grandma, you didn't know who you were talking to. And I got the best of her, and I spent a lot of time with her. But you imagine growing up, I'm talking to spirit, I'm talking to elementals, I'm talking to people who aren't there. And so so for me, it was I really shut it down, and I had to learn how to open it back up in a very mechanical way. So everything I learned how to do it in a very, very mechanical way because I had to do it. So no matter now, as a healer to the healers, most of my clients are way more open than me. They are so cosmic. They go and take me on these amazing adventures out into the cosmos, out into spirit, channeling different people and stuff. but I can help them wherever they are on their journey because I have this structure that gives them the tools to understand and harness their gifts. And so I can pull out the blockages. Yeah. So it's a really different method that I do. And I can pretty much open almost anybody. I've yet
Awesome. Yeah, I know I have some blockage somewhere, I could tell, but I just don't know what and how to remove that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Start, and that's I've got a program on my site called Healing Empathy Overwhelm. It's free. People can sign up to that. And basically what that program is doing is teaching you how to move out of your head and into your body and to start opening up your DNA. So it really
Cool. Okay.
and stuff like that, and it starts opening everything up. And that's like step one.
I'll definitely sign up for that. I definitely want to see.
And it links you to some meditations that are on my YouTube channel as well that help with that.
I was my husband's was because his family grew up negative, and so he was trying to get rid of that, and he found this frequency. It's like he's doing this and he bought the whole series of it. It's like 18 videos, and you go through it, and it's amazing. I was like, oh, I want to try it. I'm pretty positive I'm cool, but I mean, I'm sure it would teach me something and help me. But it does get you to the state where you're like, where you can channel things. You can speak to other, realms and
try and listen to it with headphones so that you get the duality that goes on with that through the frequency music. So when you're listening to the recording, it's really nice to have headphones on because it does the frequency and it balances your masculine and feminine energies and your brain connections and stuff like that. It brings a balance to the neurological system, but then try and get yourself to a sound bath if you can.
Okay.
Listening and like singing bowls and different chimes and music from around the world played live, because there's nothing like live music. It sends out vibrations that your body is its vibration, right?
It's all vibration.
So the sound hits it and it changes the whole resonance and it releases all sorts of stuff from it.
Oh, how amazing. I definitely want to do that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It is so worth doing.
I bet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, I think we'll wrap this up. This was wonderful. I'm so happy to have hopped on here with you and have this discussion. It's one of my passions. Yeah, I love detox. I love not just detox. So remember, this is Emily White, the Detox Queen.
Yes.
Reach out to her and check out her website. As she said, she's got lots of good information on there to help you grow this. Remember, life is a journey. It's not a destination. So enjoy the journey. And we are soul beings here having a human experience. So be human. And I'm going to sign off with that. Thank you, Emily, so much for joining me.
Thank you.